On the agenda we have our new county prosecutor, Leah Askey. If you'd like to come forward.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Morning, George.
How are you doing?
Good. Good. How are you?
See ya.
Okay, Leah, the podium is all yours.
Well, first I want to say thank you for the position. Appreciate that. I appreciate the candid discussions that we had prior to today's meeting and the opportunity to continue serving Lincoln County in this capacity. I will be here most of the time as court will allow. If I'm not here, then Mr. Gundy is my first assistant. He'll be here in my place. So we will do our best to maintain constant communication with you in the event that something were to arise that neither of us were able to be here, but I don't foresee that being an issue, and in some regard I may have to send another assistant prosecutor over to take my spot.
Okay.
And I don't, again, foresee that to be an issue. It's more, on Mondays is our law day, the first and the third Monday of the month, so that's actually where I was coming from. And I had someone else then take that docket for me to come here to meet with you. So hopefully we'll be able to negotiate our schedules around to make that happen. Where did you want to start as far as?
We had talked before on the telephone about the need to clarify exactly what, because you're new, I'm new. I just know that someone in the prosecutor's office in the past has served as the legal counsel to the county. Jim, maybe you can beef our understanding up here a little bit as to exactly what the relationship is, because I want to be abundantly clear as to what I can expect from Leah's office, and I want Leah to know exactly what we're going to expect from her, so on July the 1st, we don't have a, oh my gosh, the county commission just asked me to do this moment. So.
Well, the advantage of the regular meetings is that a lot of times it's just a matter of, some weeks maybe nothing, but a lot of weeks it may be just a matter of a letter that needs to be sent or contacts that need to be made regarding, you know, some concerns that have been expressed to us or something like that.
Sure.
In practice, anything that we send out of that nature, we want to, even if we compose it, a lot of times we want to run it by you to see what the nature is there. And then, of course, just representing us, you know, if we have lawsuits or anything of that nature of your office, you know, representing us directly, or, and I think we talked about this, you know, before, if it's not possible for whatever reason for
Sure.
you to represent us, then you providing us counsel, you know, and getting legal representation.
Sure. A question that I would have then is if there are situations or letters or specific things that you intend to bring up. I'm assuming you have an agenda like here as to each weekly meeting, correct? So if ahead of time you wanted to send me that or call me so that I could have an answer for you to help expedite processes, I'm happy to do that. So if you want to call, you know, on Friday and say, hey, Leah, I wanted you to look at this, shoot it over to me or whatever, or could you draft this? That way I could have it for you, and then we wouldn't have to delay your process any longer.
Right.
And get it ready.
Yeah, that would be great. In fact, that's probably something that we need to improve on from the past, because if it's a matter that's brought up one week and then we don't see you for another week, then.
Well, hopefully we'll eliminate that in general, but I'm just, for efficiency's sake, where you all are concerned, if there's something you want me to address, don't wait till the Monday. I mean, please don't hesitate to call or send it to me, email it to me. We'll get it drafted. You and I will chat just, you know, candidly over the phone or whatever, and then when it comes up on the agenda, I'll be able to give you an answer Mr. Hardcastle had called me last week to ask me about that, and so I wanted to make sure I had that answer for him today. And I didn't know if that was copacetic for you as far as when answers were delivered, but I didn't want you to have to wait a long time, you know, on those things too.
Right, the answers don't necessarily have to wait until this time.
Okay.
You know, it's something that I envision if we, you know, via courier or fax or however, get you a copy of something and say, hey, give us an opinion on this. And you know, if you want to say, looks good, looks horrible.
Right.
Whichever, you know, I think that the communication between your office and this commission is something that's not just going to be Monday mornings at 10 a.m. It's something that's going to have to take place because we are, every year that passes, we are engaged in more and more litigation from left field, you know, for lack of a better term, where we have need to, I mean, ideally your office would be in this building somewhere where we could walk across the hall,
Right.
but I think it's something that we, just by the nature of what's taking place right now, we're going to have to be in constant communication with you.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I'll be honest, I do well with email because I can answer that when I'm in court.
Right.
And if the way it is right now, we'll be in court a lot for the month of January, and that's something that I will address with you in a few minutes.
Right. We have, there is an email account for the commissioners, but I understand that the box is packed full, so one of the things that I'm going to have to do is go through the mailbox and get some of the junk out of it so we can send and receive emails.
Well, and there is not an email account for the prosecutor. That's been turned off, so I'm in the process of getting one established currently, and hopefully we'll have that, I'd like to say by the end of today.
Right.
But I couldn't really execute anything until today, so,
Sure.
but all of that's been turned off my websites and everything, so I'm reconfiguring and
Right,
signing
and
contracts.
Kelly should be contacting you regarding the website, as opposed to everybody kind of having their own
Wonderful.
activity going on the website. What our goal is to, if somebody types in Lincoln County, Missouri government into the search box, our website will pop up and there will be little boxes on the front page so you can
Wonderful.
navigate back and forth.
Yes.
And just be a lot less cumbersome than what we have
And
now.
then will he provide the host for that, as far as the person to manage that site?
I think that's the direction we're going, to
Great.
put it all in his office. It will all be run through his,
Okay.
under his supervision.
Okay, then I'll discuss with him some of the ideas that I had specifically for our site. I would like to, and you know, I don't understand all I know about computers because I don't know much, but I understand less. But I would like there to be an area where victims can go on with a specific passcode that I may be able to give them and access their specific case to determine what's going on with their case in lay terms rather than as CaseNet would maybe direct you, so that they feel more comfortable and constantly involved. And if we had a way to facilitate that, and my staff can do it by implementing
Right.
daily, you know, the specific cases that go on and what's kind of, you know, if it got continued or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And again, I can meet with Kelly and see how we can implement that, or if it's even a possibility, but I know other counties do it, so that was something I was hopeful on the website.
Would I be correct in saying that you and George intend to handle this kind of as a team, as opposed to one of you specifically being dedicated to
Yes.
us? Okay.
Obviously, I would like to be involved as much as possible.
Right.
George will do more of the contract work and less probably of our trial work from the perspective that I will have him more available on our rotations at the office so that he's not in court as much, and that way if something arises that's, major here that's unforeseen, I'll have somebody on it full-time in that regard.
Okay. But I think it would be beneficial if we declared you the contact point.
Correct,
And made everything flow through you.
that's fine.
That way, regardless of whether you have George handle it, you're aware of what's going on.
That's,
That would make
and
me
I
feel less
absolutely
comfortable.
agree, yeah.
Lee, how's your remodeling of your office going, phone systems, all that stuff? Are you started good, or what's a little report on that? I mean,
Am I on
painting
my way to
done?
Mexico to run away? I welcome anyone to come over and take a look at our office at any time. To say that it's in chaos would be an understatement.
I think that's something we need to, as a commission tomorrow afternoon, make a trip over there.
It's looking better. Judge Burkemper came up over the weekend to sign a warrant, and he wanted to see, because he had heard, and not through me. I tried, other than I left you it, because I'm trying not to, I'm trying to focus on going forward. But we're not able to work. We don't have a place to sit. We don't have a phone. We don't have a switchboard. The filing cabinets many are gone, files are piled. It took us 3 hours to find 5 cases the other day that were set. We have, and we can pull the docket from last January, I think there were 60-some trial, I keep looking back, set last January. This year this month we have 263 cases set for trial in the next 30 days, or 28 as it falls. So the staff they've been told they wouldn't be taught how to teach us. We weren't given any administrative passwords, none of us had access to computers. So I did get signed on. I finally called the prosecutor's office, state prosecutor's office, and they got me in contact so that we could bypass the security and get us passwords. So we weren't even able to look at files until this weekend that were set for today. I have gotten, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, I've gotten bids, and I didn't know how many bids I needed. I think that we're required to have so many, but for moving, rotating filing, like they have in the clerk's office, they have it in the basement of the courthouse, to try to house all of our files in one room. I'm sure you've all been over there before and you know how they're all kind of in the middle. This would put them all in one room where our computer system is and where our highway patrol mules system is, because that can't be accessed from the public. So I would really like to do that in lieu of buying more filing cabinets, and they can use the current shelving that we bought, the county bought some years back. So they would just basically install that shelving, put it on a track, and has the wheel, does
Right.
everyone know what I'm talking? Okay, so we're able to house all of the files that are in the office in all the various places. An additional 7 filing cabinets full, so we would have plenty of room to grow and to then move files to the basement as we need to. So that's one thing that I'd like to do. I had some guys doing community service come in to try to help paint last week, and needless to say, you get what you pay for. So 4 days later, we had one room half done. So yesterday, because again, we can't work in there, I had 2 guys that are firefighters and they go to my church. I had them come in, George sat with them. They started painting. I told them if the county would pay it down the road, great. If they don't, I'll pay it, because I'm just, the people are, the staff is looking to me